All right, let's continue. Okay, no paddle. Oh, not so much paddle. You can see better that way, I guess. Why is it double tracking? No need. That's also a cool chord. Oh, that wasn't. Hold up. Went to from. Ba-de-ya-da. Could always throw that in there somehow. Let's go back to that other thing again. Let's get some bass. That's so wholesome. At least to me. Let's change these colors. It looks so gray in here. bypass compression again. Okay. Something is up with the chat on YouTube again, right? Autoglide is horrible. Oh. try autoglide again. Okay, maybe not. No, no autoglide. Never mind. Nah, not so sure. No, no, no. There's even more noise than this. Let's stay with the one. Give me a sec. Ouch. Okay. Let's give it some air. And so rename sax. Ba, 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 ba. Um, those are all Reason native devices. Hold up, let me minimize QWERTY. I'm not looking at chords. There's not too much crazy stuff in here right now. These are two physical modeling units. Friction is a unit that is pretty good at creating string-like instruments, as the name suggests. It's also a little bit more confined. And Object, which I cannot claim to understand very much of. I know a little bit synthesis, but Object can get pretty crazy. Physical modeling in general, but it can do. I can't actually say what it can't do. I could go through presets, but I want to focus more on my jazz improvisation. And I'm just looking for something that is somewhat good enough to make mock-up. Because I don't have, I have Keyscape that I'm using for keys, all kinds of keys, mostly piano. There's also Wurlitzer in there. They can mimic and create pretty convincing physical sounds. I wouldn't say necessarily that it's just very specific instruments. Also depends on how good you are with sound design. I'm a musician, but I'm not a master sound alchemist or whatnot. With Friction, it is much easier to do something. I have a hate and love relationship with Friction because, I mean, it was all also sampled instruments. You can only take them that far because there's a limit to what can be done in the box. And but the beautiful thing about physical modeling is it gets computed. So you are not stuck with the sample library as is, but the sound will get calculated. And especially if you are using all kinds of key switches or whatnot, like I usually love to have the harmonics on. I think often it sounds better when harmonics is on default, which gives you these richer overtones. Like, let me just play a phrase without the harmonics, with the strings. No. Friction is doing the sound all by itself. The only thing, or the only VST Friction is running through is at the master bus level, where it meets tape. But it is kind of Friction by itself. Okay, and there's a send. But Friction does the string all by itself. And Object, like really, Object is a crazy instrument. I cannot tell you what it can and cannot do. This one is insane. But I try not to spend too much time with practicing and learning sound design because I really want to do as much. I love producing and whatnot to some extent, but I always come back just to practicing piano. And I think I say this now almost every day on stream. I really want to get good at jazz piano. This is where I start and where I end. In between, sometimes I think, oh, okay, I have a little idea. Let me produce, let me record something, but I never finish anything. That is Reason Studios. So these are all Reason native devices, except for Keyscape, of course, and Valhalla Reverb. I could substitute Keyscape for a Reason native device. Reason has amazing sounds, and like I think it is the sandbox and playground for every sound designer. And I have invested years getting lost in sound design also, but at the moment I am really focused on very, very basic stuff on piano. Also, I am kind of falling in love more and more with guitar. I can produce somewhat, but I'm more of a musician than I'm a producer. Like, I know some terms and I know how to use most stuff, but it's not like I have mastered any of this. But Friction is really cool. Really like all kinds of string sounds. Let's bring this in context. Could also show the notes from the piano if it should ever start to play again. So Friction does the sound by itself. The notes that we're seeing is what I played with Keyscape and piano, and I'm just looking for something complementary. But also, yeah, guitar is really also a side project. Like I love sound design. I love all kinds of things in music. At the beginning of the year, I thought I have to go pro, and the only way to do that, because I'm just a music monk in my bedroom studio, that I need to get into game audio, and I downloaded FMod and whatnot, but I didn't even really look at it. I know that I need to find some way to make jazz piano work. I mean, it's a long journey, and it doesn't have to happen, but I can't do anything else but think about the piano. No, I'm nothing really. I'm kind of a music monk that is trying to explore music. That's why I called this channel, after infinite renamings, Sound Exploration. And just today I updated the description to be even more concise with it. It is about jazz and blues improvisation. Maybe every now and then I will try maybe to make a little sample here and there so other people can use the music for production. But what I really want to do, I would love to be a session musician, because often I'm not really having the vision of a production in the end. For me, I just like I could continue just playing what I started recording earlier. This is some stuff from last night. Just goes kind of like. That's not wrong register. Thank you so much. Yeah, but also it's my own fault because I have kind of created the situation for myself. I wouldn't just need to force myself much more to network. I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago it was still true because I'm self-taught musician, and meanwhile I think I'm starting to connect some dots on the piano, and I could probably play with some professional jazz musicians. But like 4 years back, that was kind of like out of the question. I'm not a good reader. I'm pretty good at improvising, and that's also all I do. Like I don't have a repertoire. Every now and then I open up the real book, decipher some chord symbols, and then I even skip actually looking at the melody because I will try to wing it by ear, listening to renditions. I don't think I have perfect pitch, but I have pretty good relative pitch, and I'll find stuff. Like I never claim to have invented anything. I said this on the stream that I had today earlier. I don't think anyone ever creates anything. We just find stuff that was already there. It's like this idea, the Platonic idea of remembering what has been there to begin with. But it would certainly not hurt to try to find a way to make this a little bit more approachable for people that are not just music nerds. Actually, of course, that is one kind of a problem, but I don't even think that is the biggest of our problems with AI. I think the biggest problem of AI, and especially the way that it's advertised, is just beyond ridiculous. We are spending collectively an infinite amount of resources on this: money, electricity, polluting the environment. People that are not from the field, and I'm not from the field, I just know how to switch on, to turn on my computer. I'm not a computer scientist or anything. And I have spent a lot of time also noodling around with language models. I think just 2 or 3 days ago, I deleted Claude because I think that we are collectively outsourcing all kinds of intellectual work, and we are feeling happy about this. I'm born 86. I'm glad that I was taught how to read and write well enough so that I can research, do some basic critical thinking, and I believe we will condition a population of people that will gladly say goodbye to thinking, reading, and thinking for themselves. And this belief of that this machine has some superior intellect and will become conscious, well, who knows, maybe. And also, we don't know nothing about consciousness to begin with. We don't understand ourselves very well. But still, even then, I'm very worried that it all started already with algorithms in suggestion feeds. I think we're all getting conditioned and brainwashed to think and see the same, and also discouraged from thinking. When you, like, it must be so terrible to be an elementary teacher or mid-grade or whatever kind of education. Like, go on YouTube and look for AI and education. If you find people on from neuroscientists, it is not looking very good for us. It is a huge problem. It has no regulation. Like, it could be a very great tool, but the way that it gets advertised is that it's not just merely a tool, that it is the final stage, the beginning and the end. And I have realized this with myself. I'm a pretty withdrawn person lately for various reasons. And I have noticed that I've started to, like, I used to talk to myself a lot, and I talk to myself a lot on stream. Sometimes I'm on stream, my channel is tiny, and I talk to myself aloud for hours. Way before I did this. And I have hours and hours spent some time with ChatGPT, and then I switched to Claude and had general conversation and use it as a mental resonance chamber. But I stopped that like 2 or 3 days ago completely because I'm thinking like, I cannot do this. First of all, it is not really enriching me. And on the other hand, I'm handing over sensitive data, the way I think, to people that may very well not have all our collective best interest at heart, and most likely not. But the problem is, what am I to do about it? Like, I'm a college dropout. Long time ago, I thought I would becoming a doctor, but I was not really disciplined enough. Like, I live in Germany. I have a good Abitur. I was a good student, but I was not like super excellent or whatnot. And you have to be like having really just straight A's. Didn't prepare for entrance exams. Yeah, absolutely. And I have shared a lot of sensitive data. Like, I abused AI as a substitute also, like for sometimes for social connections, to run pseudo. And I'm critical about it. I know that it's not a substitution. But all these anthropomorphisms, more and more technology, at least for the Western bubble, and more also for all other, it's a global phenomenon. We are using technology to substitute real, genuine human connection. It is becoming much better at being decent looking, and people are substituting this. You know this phrase, divide and conquer? Well, I guess probably everybody does. But because society is crumbling left and right, and people are relying more and more to these systems, we will become overly dependent. I wonder what is going to happen if tomorrow there was no electricity to run the data center. So many people would start crying because they have absolutely committed and outsourced everything to these systems. They are owned by the company. Their thinking is not their own anymore, at least what's left of it. And for the younger generations, they never even got the chance to develop it on their own. If you are to look at studies of reading comprehension, it has never been this bad. And it is not a coincidence. The system is designed to create people like that. Because in the world as we are shaping it, you do not want critical thinking people that try to keep a low ecological footprint and that want to be mindful about consumption. Like our whole capitalist system, I'm not a Marxist or whatnot, but like we live like, try to max it out. Max out what exactly? And to what end? No, it's a big topic. I think it is the topic to be had also. Actually, if I were to show you my YouTube history, the last couple of videos I watched is exactly on that topic. That's what I think about almost all the time when I'm not doing music. I think about how can we prevent, educate ourselves, form better habits, So we are understanding that technology is merely an extension and maybe a help to solve certain problems and not to substitute for the labor that needs to be done. Nowadays, everyone wants everything all at once, right now, without putting in any effort. And they wonder why they would not understand. We are in an oversaturated world with so much noise. It is so hard to focus. I remember when I was much younger, my attention span since then is probably cut in half. I remember times when I was not so well, when I was doom scrolling, and every now and then it still happens. Sometimes I'm on and off social media, but like also half a year ago, I quit Instagram, which if you want to become a professional musician, yeah, maybe you kind of should probably utilize social media if you don't have a marketing agency and whatnot. But I'm thinking, or also the whole YouTube. YouTube is probably the platform I spend most time on. I mean, sometimes a little bit on Reddit, but like I knew if I wanted to actually be much more successful on YouTube, I would have to do other things, or not have to, but it would be advantages. Like if you look or skip through my YouTube channel, you just find random stuff, a whole lot of random stuff. That is not nothing that works with our society as is. For me, I'm just streaming my process, and if somebody can pick up something that is useful for them, they can just have it. Like I don't even care for attribution. There's a link in the description. Everybody can take all these project files, turn them into commercial projects. I think you have to put in for attribution, but I don't even care for that. Like people can do with it whatever. I'm just here exploring this thing, and I probably should think much more about business, but but still, it is for me about really just this process. If I would be just serious about music and business, I should be just making stuff that sells well. And I probably could. Like, in theory, I knew how to do it, but it is not of my interest. And I don't think it serves me. And I think there's a million things that are already out there, and there's no need for me to be a iteration of all this mediocre stuff that's all out there. It's a big topic, and we will always come back to it. I hope we can find a way, but it's also really problematic. Like, I think this is one of the technologies that should not actually be. I'm unemployed for 3 years now for various reasons. Actually, I should have admitted myself to an asylum 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm also caretaker of my elderly father. I'm probably oversharing a little bit of stuff. I used to be a chef for more than a decade. Then Corona came, then I was in and out of different jobs. But music was always a hobby. But in the meantime, especially in Corona, and when I had more time at home, and especially last 3 years, I kind of fully committed to just doing music, but I didn't really pursue it in a way that is turning a buck easily. I mean, like, if you're committed to jazz, you're probably not going to see a lot of money anyway. And while I may start to be at a level of musicianship where I could see myself playing and performing, but probably preferably actually not really performing, I see myself more in a recording studio. Like, I'm kind of more of the music monk. I don't need exposure. It's enough. Like, I used to joke, all I want to do is play piano and plant some trees. And that's basically it. Like, I don't need to be rich. I need just to be peaceful, stop smoking, walk in the sun, practice piano, maybe teach piano, because I like teaching, but I think I'm not qualified yet for teaching. I just share my process, and if someone has a question that I can answer, I'll gladly answer it. And for me, it's the magic is in the process. I'm from Hamburg, Germany. Right now, for way too long, unemployed. Trying to find a way to make sense of it all. Every now and then I consider going and actually still studying something. Like when I was still a chef, and because friends and family were kind of to get friends and family off my back, telling me that I cannot just be flipping burgers. I studied chemistry and philosophy for maybe a semester, but yeah, working full time in hospitality is not a good combination with studying. Let me tell you. Okay, I'm just noodling and talking nonstop. Um, I don't know. I try to find a way to make music work, but I don't really have a plan. I need to find other musicians that are already professional to learn from and develop and to get better at networking because, yeah, like with this whole same AI thing, we have become very, very comfortable today with not doing much and expecting everything. So I'm not complaining for my own shortcomings. I just have to get a bit more active. But also, I do have a very complicated life too. Okay, let's get back to this idea because I'm really in love with it. Let's see how we can develop it. So we are in E flat major and C minor. Basic gist of it is like, for instance, I could start right now to produce this and maybe arrange this, but I'd rather keep playing for 5 more hours on pretty much the same note material, find maybe a couple of other substitute chords, and most of all, because I'm self-taught, I'm really wary with terrible technique, because when you teach yourself, you would never know. It's like if you practice dancing and you don't have a teacher or a mirror. Maybe you can dance, but you cannot be certain if maybe you are not developing some terrible habits that can be that are hard to undo. And I think even like 2 or 3 days ago, I forbade myself to have a template that has more than 2 channels, one to talk through if I have to say something, which I try not to do too much because if I talk, I can't really listen to what I play. I mean, I can, but it steals too much focus. We were never meant to be multitasking. I lost my train of thought. And I even bypassed the compressor today I enabled and de-abled the compressor a couple of times. It was kind of silent, but like I want to get really as good as possible with articulation and dynamics, and catch you another time. No, I mean I love talking. Like this is the biggest problem of them all. Boy, oh boy, do I love talking. If I ever like, and it's not hard to get me started. It's hard to shut me up. This is one of the biggest problems. But pretty much, I want to find out how I can make this idea better and to some extent whole. I mean, nothing is ever really finished. But yeah, that's why we were listening to Friction a little bit, because I was like, let me see what this could sound like. Like, I switched to producing and sound design when I need a little bit of a break from actually playing the keys. But on the other hand, I mean, I'm glad that I invested that time trying to learn some fundamentals about production and engineering and whatnot. But sometimes I wish I never had a computer and only had a place to practice my acoustic. I have an upright piano right there, and it sounds just a million times better. Even if I play it terribly, it just sounds better, and there's no distraction. Then I cannot create a template with a million different instruments and whatnot. Then I can really just play. No latency, no nothing, no distractions. I'm trying to get better at being focused and minimizing distractions. I'm not quite sure if I'm doing a good job at that. Okay. And that's also pretty much the end of the range for this physical modeling thing. But I hope physical modeling will get so much better because, like, seriously, good libraries are just way too big, and they're still so limited. And also choice paralysis. Like, look at all these knobs. Ain't nobody got time for that. But the cool thing is, sorry, I'm always killing the vibe. Physical modeling is super super interesting. Like the same the same way I could spend this whole day playing pretty much exactly what we have there, and with very very minute variations, hopefully improvements. I could spend the entire day with one synthesizer doing sound design, not recording a single note. But I try not to do that anymore too much. Like, for instance, I love hip hop. I love hip hop. I love all kinds of music. Like, really, from A to Z. I don't think there's, of course, certainly there's genres that I listen to much more often, like jazz and blues and whatnot. But same funk, soul, R&B, rock, reggae, it's all good. I think there's only stuff that I resonate more and stuff that I resonate less. Probably I'm not listening to a whole bunch of metal, and I think metal is crazy good music often, but it is also fatiguing me sometimes. I have to be really in the mood. But from a technical perspective, I think there are some crazy, crazy good musicians out there, especially guitarists. It's ridiculous how good they are. It's pretty otherworldly sometimes. But I could also spend like the whole day trying to make a boom bap thing, like just sampling into mimic maybe one or two phrases and messing with the sample. I love sampling. Sampling is so interesting, especially micro sampling. Most of the time, I kind of make some mock up whatever, and then I sample it into anything. And usually, I don't really chop up the sample. I love granular synthesis and granular sampling and whatnot. And I usually probably use, I don't know, 250 milliseconds, and I can remain there for 5 hours. Let's do a little bit of that. Like, and we could spend the whole day just in grain, messing with this little thing, whatever that is, and whatever it will could become. But yeah, that's why it's the wrong instrument. Yeah, a sampler is an instrument. That's the right way to think about it, I think. The rest of the day could just sound like that, you know. That's why I try not to do too much sound design and whatnot, because then I will just neglect keeping on practicing piano. Let's send the LFO to the position so we get some movement. That's pretty crazy already. Yeah, but let's not do that, because once you start to do sound design, it's hard to get out of. Sound is just one of the most interesting things. It doesn't even have to be music. It's infinite. It's dangerous. Like, what comes next? Probably some modulation. What would we do? Let's get some delay. Need some delay in here anyway. Not need, but now that we started this mess, we might as well continue. I just gotta enable that so it's not so super dry. Probably want to turn this to 100 if it's a send. We're gonna control the level here. Give it some noise. Probably a different color though. Maybe gold or germ. Gonna go full on distortion too. Some wobble, some ping pongs, some other shenanigans. A little bit left, a little bit right. Now we are on this weird horizontal glitch out journey. Yeah, but you know what? Still, maybe let's not do this because I just really want to continue with the basic thing. We can do that in the end, but I want to stay in here. Maybe let's try to track some strings over that. And then we can sample that into Mimic or something. That makes a little bit more sense. I really don't want to go granular. I shouldn't have even put this in the template. You know, am I gonna delete that? Probably not. I've got to mute myself. The take was pretty horrible, but just for the basic idea, you know. Also, it doesn't really have to be good. If you are going to a microsample anyway, often it doesn't really matter what the source sounded like. The source will just become a new source. Okay, now that we have that in here, I can minimize QWERTY. And then the new fun begins. Never-ending fun. That's what I mean with having too many choices, choice paralysis, and being just absolutely overwhelmed with infinite options. That's the wrong instrument. Ouch. That was kind of loud, sorry. And if there wasn't already too much going on, then we can throw some more stuff on it, so it gets even more difficult to make a decision. But I don't want to listen to this click track. Yeah. Well. That's not much better either. Let's bypass this. Okie dokie. Have fun? Now it's back to work. But I gotta do some other stuff. Maybe too. I think I should maybe eat something, do the laundry, and maybe also spend 1 or 2 hours away from the screen. All I do is sitting down looking at this thing. That's not our job. Our job is just to play these harmonies. You know what? I think it's maybe enough for now for a little bit. We'll take a break. I'll try to come back sometime today. Can't promise when. I can never promise anything. Well, yeah. But that's that, I guess. May the muse be with you. Happy creating, happy practice. Peace.